Fair weather, my fellow riders. Today we're going to review Route 23 from 50 to the 18 junction here. Um, we'll get started right away with it says 43 minutes. It's more along the lines of 45 to 50. It depends on how you ride. And ride at about 27 miles. Now, right off the bat here, you got a go mark right off of 50 to stop and gas up. They are doing waterline upgrading right here for the first mile of the road, depending on when you would ride this, where they would be not 100% how far they're going, but they're right in the way right there. And you can see that they do track out a lot of mud and water, so be careful of that. Now, this is a pretty nice riding road if you've been down it before. If not, I would lean towards going a little slower. You'll see throughout the video, all the ditch lines are usually full of logs, sticks, trees, whatever. A lot of natural brush. Uh, and another thing, most of these turns, the ditch lines are right there. And this is a narrower road. So, uh, what traffic is on this road usually drags that stuff out into the road. So most of your turns will be a little dirtier. Now, something you can watch throughout this video. I don't know if it's some congressman's nephew or brother-in-law needed a job to do, but last summer they come down through and put 5 billion turning the yellow signs and the speed limit per turn signs. I will go ahead and tell you that 95% of those do not pay attention to. They put like 25-mile an hour turning signs, and I think at one point in this video I looked down, I was 55 in a 25-mile an hour turn. Like, this is a 25-mile an hour turn right here. Absolutely not. But you know, use your own abilities there. Yeah, I mean, you can see it's quite ridiculous, and I mean they well overdone. I mean, there's not even a turn there. It's anyways off topic. But for the most part, this road is in pretty good shape. The downside to this road is there is absolutely no berm. No berm going northbound. If you get over on a white line, you're probably going to end up in a ditch. Now, here and there, you'll see a little bit of berm, but for the most part, yeah, it's all ditch line. And where there's guardrails, the guardrails are pretty much the white line. So just be mindful of that, because that can go bad in a quick, fast, in a hurry. But the road itself is in really good shape, and it's a really fun ride. I really enjoy this road. It's literally just a connecting road, and there's hardly any traffic on this road. You have some local traffic, but for the most part, you'll never run into too much traffic. I don't usually do this, but there is one bar on this road. I know some people like to stop and get something to drink on their ride, but there is one bar on this road. Uh, but as you can see, this road is really curvy. There's a couple that are actually 15 mile an hour, and there's one that's 10. And if you see a 10 mile an hour sign, it's pretty close to being right. But like I said, most of the time, your ditch line side is right on top of you, and you can see all the natural debris hanging down. If you have a group, like I've said before, a white line rider, I probably would not ride that close. I would stick kind of more to the middle. Um, that way, if there's something sticking out in the road, it does not catch you a foot peg or take a leg off. So, but with that being discussed there, this is another um, road that pretty much follows the the base of the valley all the way up through. There's not a lot of uphill, downhill, but there is a lot of sharp turns. So this is this is one of them, and you can see this turn here is wide enough to where, like, if there is an 18, they don't get over there and drag the mud and everything else out with them. But you'll see down the road here where there's several that do, and I actually crossed some mud. Excuse me. But for the most part, you almost hardly ever run into traffic on this road, especially going the same way as you. Right here, I was looking at the fact that there's like half the white line is gone, so that's what I'm just kind of reiterating the fact that, especially if you got novice riders, don't really know where to tell you put them, because I don't know if I'd run a yellow line too hot on this road either. But the good thing about it is there's not a lot of traffic. So right here's another little gas station. This is Center Point. That's a little eatery and gas station. You can stop there. This little town that you lead into, it's a 35-mile-an-hour road, and I try to do that or a little bit less, because there is some kids, like smaller kids, that live in this little community, and you'll see here the front porches are pretty much on the white line, so I always just kind of watch, as I'm coming through here in a vehicle or the bike, and because they're it's coming. If you're on a bike, it's probably nice weather outside, so the kids will be outside playing. But this turn here is real bad. It's another one of those where there's a driveway there. You get a lot of wash, and there's gravel. There was actually gravel in the road there. As you can tell, the ditch line was actually up to the same grade as the road, so that means you're going to have a lot of wash in the road. Um, as you can see right there, there's a lot of natural debris sticking out in your ditch lines. Here's a 10 mile an hour. This one is a 10 mile an hour. You can lay into it a little bit if you want to, but 10 to 15, I wouldn't take it much past 15. And it'll jump up on you quick too, coming northbound. But for the most of this, there's a lot of good straightaways and a lot of open fields and things. If you're riding this earlier in the day or later in the evening, fields produce deer, so just keep an eye out for those. Pretty much any back road in West Virginia, always watch out for deer. But the road condition itself is pretty nice. I tried to include most of the bigger turns on this road, or any bad places within a turn. But for the most part, this right here is a campground. If anybody would be interested in that, it got bought last year by a new owner. It used to be called Ashley Campground. Don't know if that's still the name that they kept, but they reopened it. I've got some family members that stay there at least once a year. They like it, but just letting you know that. That turnoff right there's usually got a lot of wash in it too. I don't know why. I think it comes off the ditch line in that road and then just comes out into the main road. But a lot of the problem areas on this road are usually just driveway washouts and things. Now right up here past this straightaway, if you're going north, you're going to run into a road. I'm not sure if I pointed out or not, but I'll make a note of it. It's called Riggins Run. Yeah, it's right there off to the left if you're coming north. It looks like they just drilled a new well up there, And from this point all the way to 23, you'll actually meet some trucks. Now, I met a couple, but there was no overbearing traffic. They weren't. They were piloted and were going pretty decent speed, so that wasn't like come around and turn. They were on top of me, but just be mindful. There will be traffic, more traffic as you can get closer to summertime, because I don't know what stage they're at with that well, but with wells comes 18 wheelers. So, but like I said, there's not a lot of bad things to say about this road other than the actual road itself. But it's just you can see the deterioration of the blacktop at the white lines, and that's usually just due to overweighted traffic on the road. Now, here's another one here. I left this in here because right up here on the left, and I may point it out in the video also, is where Big Flint comes from 50 to 23. Now, that is a very heavy traffic road because it's the fastest way in the 18 off of 50. And from this point up to 18, you will encounter more traffic than anywhere else. Uh, there's a little drop off, right? I left this whole section in here because this is like a little whoop here. It doesn't show it very bad in the video, but you can't see anybody coming right there, and it's a blind turn. So right after the Big Flint intersection there, just be mindful of that right there, because if there's a car coming at you, you can't see a car. Now you can see a big truck. Here's another one of those turns where you can actually see where they drug the mud out and stuff. Like I said before, if you're riding on a Saturday and it rained on Thursday or Friday, just be mindful of lighting into these turns. That when there's another bad, that there's a stout 25-mile-an-hour turn. But they'll drag stuff out into that. I mean, it's not purposeful. I mean, this is a pretty narrow road for being truck traffic. Um, but this little town here is Shirley. It's a 25-mile-an-hour road. You can get by with a little bit, but every once in a while there is a bear that sets on this road. I don't know if it's from the locals calling or they just feel like being in the backwoods. But I have seen them there, and I've known people that got pulled over. But I mean, just don't be doing 50 through here. There is a little town with porches on the white line. Right up here is another pretty sharp turn, and it's usually got mud drug out in it too. Um, as you can see, I mean, they drag it both ways because it is super narrow. It's everything for an 18 to get around there. But once you get through that area right there, it's pretty decently smooth sailing from there. Like I said, you got a lot of river riding. You got pretty good views on this road. Um, and it really is an enjoyable ride, and it's long enough, to if you just wanted to hit it and then hit 18 south back to 50 or something, that's a pretty good ride right there in itself, for a short afternoon ride or something. But most people will take this road and go, up to 18 north and go to New Martinsville and go on from there. There's plenty. Like, you get into this section here, I can go start out in Salem there at 50 and go to Morgantown in a couple hours, and never even sniff a 4 lane. But the road conditions do stay pretty good throughout. Now, up here towards the end, there's some rough spots, and at the very end of 23, the last half mile or so, has some whoopties in it and a small slip on the southbound side. So it's nothing too worrisome, but you can ride through it pretty easy. It's just one of those little sections, and it's in a straightaway. It's not like it's in a turn where you're going to get thrown or anything. But there is a farm right here, and like I said before, I don't like pointing out individuals because I understand, from about right there all the way up to the top of the hill here. This old farmer, like right there's one, and there's one up here at the top of the hill. Like he's just trying to get to his fields, but there's almost always mud, dirt, chunks of something drug out on the road. It's a good 3/4 of a mile section there that he works his farm. So a wet, it can be dangerous. Um, just be mindful of that. And back there at the farm, that's a pretty decent turn. It didn't look like it on the bike, but you know, and he's got stuff parked alongside the road, so just be careful of that. Uh, on down through here, there's nothing, that's too horrible. So most of it, right here, they have a little racetrack right there, and I think it's Thursday or Friday nights. It might even be Saturday. They have them little wedge car races, and there's actually a lot of people that come through that. So sometimes you'll hit a little bit of traffic there, but it's nothing that backs up or anything. But the rest of the ride, other than right the last half mile of this ride, is with the whoop de doos there. It's pretty smooth sailing. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and kind of cut out here. But if you made it this far, we really appreciate it. We love you and we thank you. And everybody be careful out there. God bless.